and that sort of thing. There we are. We are live in the interwebs. What's up, live people? Were you? I don't know. This is probably the first time I've ever gone live on a Tuesday at 4:08 Central Time. But why not go live? Let's get a little. Angela. I need to set up the phone line. We need to get the phone line set up. We need to get that set up. I got to organize our first happy hour. Okay, let's go. Here. We're gonna do the radio thing. Let's just go live on the radio. Easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. Sorry, Russ. There. Now you can start dancing, Angela. The music is officially on and the show has begun. What's up, home service homies? I'm Dan Plata.
Woo!
Yours truly. I'm joined by my good friend Angela Schroeder from Unique Genius VAs. We got all kinds of stuff to talk about. Maybe we'll have more people jump in. Rob Anderson thought he was going to jump in, but it turns out he doesn't know how to read a clock, so he can't. No, he was going from East Coast to Central Time, so he thought he was going to jump on, and then it turns out he's already living in the future. So he's not going to be here at the right time to jump on. Sean Day might join us.
He might be here for a beer at the end of the show. Rob might be here for the tail end for a beer.
We might get JC back on. We got last episode on Turf's Up. We were talking about parenting, and so we might dive into that. Angela and I could probably talk about that for about 17 hours today, and there's not even 17 hours left in the day. We'd figure that out. I don't know if you could figure it out since you're not an entrepreneur, Angela. But now you are an entrepreneur, so maybe you would be able to problem solve that. We'll rehash that. That was on the last episode, and now I feel like I'm talking about an inside joke. But that was just so funny when you elaborated why your kids didn't think you were an entrepreneur. Anyway, this is the Home Service Happy Hour podcast brought to you by Best Damn Bookkeeping, and it's brought to you by them because that's my company, and I'm bringing you this, so therefore it's them, which is me. You know what I mean?
I like it.
Yeah. So brought to you by Best Damn Bookkeeping, supported by Hire Lead Chill. That's my boy Sean Day's recruiting business that I get to invest in and partner with him on. Michael Gregory from Click Call Sell too is invested in that. So that's just a super fun business, and we're building out just some sweet stuff. So I'm super pumped about that. Which, like, right now, a recruiting business doesn't have a whole lot to do. Kind of like if you don't have your people by now for your fall season, you're kind of on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
But now is the time. Just like in any of our home service businesses, we usually have like seasonal slowdowns. That's the time to build sweet shit. And so I can't even take any credit for it. Like Michael and Sean are behind the scenes building some really cool stuff they're like rolling it out now, but it'll really help a whole lot of business owners come kind of February when hiring gets super hot and heavy. So anyway, if you need people, go check out Hire Lead Chill. If you need VAs, you're looking at her. Angela's not a VA, but I have a testimonial here before we get into any parenting stuff. We got to do a Unique Genius VA's testimonial. We got to get a recap from Angela on Equip and how that went. Is it Equip Expo? Is it the Expo? What do they call it now?
Equip Expo. Yes, I believe that's the official name.
I need to open this beer. Sean just texted me back. He said maybe 15 minutes or so. Cheers to 4 o'clock Central Time.
And I'm coming from the Nashville. I am so dedicated to be on your show that I'm at the airport in Nashville, waiting to go to where I'm at and just parked myself here to be on the show.
I think I know which bar you're at and which wall you're sitting next to. I've been to Nashville so many times. I am not going to make the AMP mastermind this time, I haven't for like way too long because I just feel ever since we had our third kiddo, I'm just like, I don't want to travel any more than I have to. And I don't want to give up hunting and fishing traveling. That's like the last travel I'm willing to give up. And then I've already been gone for a week for that this fall. Not next week, but the week after I'm gone for another week. So, but I'm there in spirit.
You have the shirt.
I'm wearing my BBB shirt. It's still like Amp Mastermind. It's just never going to be Amp Mastermind to me. It's always BBB.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
So anyway, so testimonial here for Angela's Unique Genius VAs business. If you follow the Dan Plata saga at all, you'll know that Best Damn Bookkeeping is my new bookkeeping business, and it's new. I officially launched it September 1st. I was our first nerdy bookkeeper. I am not a nerdy bookkeeper for life. Somebody already chimed in, said, Dan, it's Tuesday. What's going on here? Who was that? I should look at us on Facebook. I haven't even opened that up to see us out there. But good question. It is Tuesday. I mean, is there any day that's a bad day to have a beer and talk about business? Doug Brown in the house. What's up, Doug? Question. Oh, now I'm listening to myself because I have my volume turned up. Thanks for checking in, Doug. So I'm starting this new bookkeeping business, and I was talking to our friend Megan Likes about nerdy bookkeeping stuff because we're two nerdy bookkeepers. And she's like, dude, why are you thinking about hiring somebody for your bookkeeping business? Just have Angela find you a nerdy VA person that can do bookkeeping stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, I talk to Angela every week. Almost to a fault. I talk to you so often that I forget that I can hire you to do stuff. I'm like, hey Angela, is this something you could find? And you're like, you were way nicer about it. But what I would have said if I were you is, yeah, dumbass. That's what you should have said to me, but you're way nicer than I am. So what you did say is yeah, man, I'll get back to you. And maybe it was 2 days. Now I think, I don't want to set improper expectations. I'll let you clarify that. You have a lot of experience finding nerdy accounting people.
Yes.
And I happen to run a bookkeeping business. And so finding a nerdy accounting person is really in your wheelhouse. And you already had some relationships. And so I think Jason, who is now my nerdy bookkeeper and is doing awesome, was already he was kind of on your hit list. You knew him, you knew me. And the minute I said, hey, Angela, I need a nerdy bookkeeper, I think your wheels were probably already turning. Yeah, I got this guy. And man, it's been so refreshing it's like a brand new business, right? I don't have training systems. I don't have the processes built. It's all up here. I've built it all once before, but now I got to go build it again. And the thing I'm actually worst at is building the training systems and processes. I can do all the work. I can crank that work out and I can talk to business owners all day, but building training systems and processes, I'm pretty terrible at. And so to be able to bring somebody in that literally knows more about how QuickBooks works than I do. And I'm not the master of QuickBooks of all time, but I did have a bookkeeping business with 300 plus clients. And they're like, I've seen a thing or two in the old QuickBooks. Tyler Starkey checking in says, these two are trouble. I'll drink to that. But yeah, so to be able to bring Jason in, get somebody that literally, and I think this is true with a lot of our businesses, especially in the admin space. For whatever reason, we fire ourselves from the field and then cling to the admin stuff. And we're shitty admins. Business owners make bad admin people. We're pulled in too many different directions. We're way too ADD. We don't like doing the invoicing and the billing and the behind the scenes administrative stuff. We put it off forever, right? Because employees and customers and their problems are always going to get our first and massive attention. And so the administrative stuff behind the scenes, like our bookkeeping, can usually sit and wait. And so we put it off. And so, man, I'm glad I used Unique Genius VAs to find me Jason, find him immediately. I was actually thinking about this the other day, Angela. I have an admin person lined up already from working with Michael on a business. And so I'm going to borrow one of his people, I think. But as I scale bookkeepers, I'm just I think I'm just Angela, I need another. Angela, I need another. Angela, I need another. I don't know it just seems almost to the point where I'm just it seems too easy. Is it too easy? Is that all I need to do? Is just text you and
that's all you need to do. Okay. Yeah, text me and say, I need another rock star. I'm glad that you had such an incredible experience and you brought out something that I think most people don't think about in virtual assistants. One, that he is a QuickBooks expert. I think a lot of people think you're going to get somebody that just is very basic data entry, doesn't have a lot of skills, where I was able to find you someone that is a professional with an expertise that, like you said, is a rock star at QuickBooks and can come in.
He's literally
right away.
He's better than I am at how to navigate certain things in there. He's for sure faster at it. And it's cool to be like, here's how I would solve this problem. Here's how I have solved it before. Okay, let's do it your way. I didn't think this was Doug. This is Doug. Doug said, Dan, couldn't you go over find some people over at Blue Skies Bookkeeping? As a matter of fact, for 2 reasons. No, I can't. I have like a 2-year window that I can't. And like, I wouldn't, out of respect for my business partners. Those guys are still my business partners in other businesses. So like, agreed that I wouldn't go steal their shit, right? Like, they're investors. They got their business. They got to do their business thing. So no, I can't. Plus, my business model is different. We did things differently at Blue Skies, and now I'm building it the second time. I'm like, I've got different ideas that I want to employ, and it would have been not impossible. It's hard to move a big ship. Like Blue Skies, we built a pretty big thing, and it would have been tough to make some of the changes. And now I'm building it from the ground up, and it's like, oh, I think I'm going to try doing it this way. So no, business model is a little bit different. We had our people at Blue Skies are so freaking awesome. I love that team. But I hired them for a specific type of role when I was there, and we don't have that role in this business anymore. The roles are different in this business model, so it wouldn't be a good fit. But I'm super excited to scale it the way we're scaling it now, and have dedicated bookkeepers and dedicated account managers. It's gonna be tons of fun. Who was this? Oh, this was Doug too. I missed it. He says, "Hey Angela, does JC need an assistant?" I'm waiting on that reply. Doug.
Oh, interesting.
Signed, Doug. Does JC have a VA? Does he have a VA?
JC has several VAs, but he doesn't have an EA.
Yeah.
So there is a difference, Doug, in so Dan has a virtual rock star, we call them, that is bookkeeping. He is a position in Dan's business. He's a QuickBooks specialist.
Yeah.
He's a position in your business. So there's lots of people. JC has it. People that do dedicated inbound, outbound calls. He actually has an integrator that like runs high level the company, and then people that do social media and email marketing and different things. But an EA, Doug, is somebody that is like a CEO or business owner's personal assistant, but an executive assistant that's really in your inbox, messages, calendar management, everything like that.
Yeah, they're like the bridge between your business and your personal life. I feel like.
Yeah.
They're in all your weeds.
They're in all your weeds. That's a good.
Hey, so here's a question, and I actually think this was probably in the document that you sent me that I didn't read a whole lot of because I was just like, Angela sent me somebody. I'm just gonna go. I mean, like and this is like a question that I have, and I'm sure everybody would have it when they're looking at hiring VAs, is the person still technically works for you, right? Like I'm paying you, you're paying them, so they by default work for you.
Yeah.
Can you, so I need to say, hey, Angela, this person's working or not, right? What does that look like from your end? Is there a point where you would say, hey, this person's working or not, and inform the business owner and say, hey, we're going to replace this person for, I don't know what reasons you would, or is it always up to the business owner to say they're working or not? And then obviously like that's a human being over there, and they're going to make decisions for themselves about what they want to do. Right. So what does that look like if that person decides, hey, this job isn't for me anymore or whatever? Maybe this is years down the road. Right.
Yeah.
Or if you say, hey, we're pulling that person out, you can go hire them back personally if you want to, but they're off our payroll. What, like, how does that work? Like, I'm thinking like 5 years down the road, what does that look like?
Yeah. So this is a big difference in our company. I really don't know any other virtual assistant company that does it, but it was important to me. They do, a lot of people find you a virtual assistant. So you'd say, Angela, find me a bookkeeper, and I would give Jason to you and then say, have a nice time, Dan.
Good luck.
Good luck. And we keep both the business owner and the virtual team member part of our company and our culture, which is important for a few reasons. One, I want to support the small business owners, right? not everyone has worked with virtual team members or people in the Philippines. And so really supporting that all along and that relationship all along. And then we provide just an amazing program for the virtual team members that they get to be with people in their culture, in their country, part of groups where they are speaking their own language, doing their own things, and provide personal and professional development. When you talk about the career oriented thing, so we're providing all kinds of, so Jason is part of not only just the culture and family of other Filipinos that are working offshore for US businesses, but also a part of an accounting group. So people that are CPAs, other QuickBooks experts. So like he was one that asked, this is a couple weeks ago, I think QuickBooks Online had an outage, and or there's an error and there's a glitch and something changes and everybody knows, or there's an update and stuff like that.
Glitching? No, QuickBooks never glitches. Oh, and then Angela just glitched. That was really good timing. Angela totally just bombed out of her internet or battery or whatever. Talk about glitches. But while she's not here, I can talk about her. No, it's super cool. I mean, like Angela's obviously been supporting the show for a heck of a long time. Basically a year now. I met her about a year ago and she jumped on the show and has been big time supporter ever since. But joking aside, like I didn't use her business for a year, which it's always weird, like using a friend's business, right? Because you don't want to violate that friendship at all. You want to support them, but you don't want to use a business just because you're friends with them. You want to use them because it's useful to you. And I tend in a funny way, now Angela's back, but she has to just listen to me talk. I tend to, I'm kind of this way, and I actually enjoy working with people that are this way. But like when you have a friend that has a business and they don't sell you anything, and I've told Angela this before, like she rarely talks about her business on this show, which I would love for her to do more often because it's an awesome business. But that's also usually a sign to you like that's the business owner you want to work with. They're not shoving shit down your throat, trying to sell you something every chance that they get. There's nothing worse than a friend that's like, hey, by the way, when are you going to buy my stuff? Hey, by the way, when are you going to buy my stuff? Like there's always this like weird line of friend and business owner and vendor, if you will. My financial advisor, Bryce, is totally that way. He and I had been buddies for like a decade before I was like, hey, Bryce, can you look at my financial stuff with me? And he's, yeah, man, let's look at it. And so eventually I moved my stuff over to him, but it was like 10 years of knowing him, and he never tried to sell me anything once. Right. And so I think that's just super important, to the detriment of that person, right? Like I should have been using Angela's business forever ago, but it took me like a year of hanging out with her, and then literally somebody else saying like, why don't you just use Angela's business? And I was like, oh yeah, because she doesn't sell me anything. So I just never even crossed my mind to use her for this thing. But I think you always appreciate somebody like that. They always put the relationship before the business thing, which is why you can use them and trust them. So anyway, kudos to you, Angela.
Thank you.
What happened over there? I literally, I mean, it was almost like, I don't know if ironic would be the right word, but we were talking about QuickBooks glitching, and then you just disappeared. And it's like, whoa.
I hit the button. I think I don't know what I hit, but I was talking about the career oriented thing. And that's one reason people come to us is that we have a great reputation in the Philippines, is we attract people that aren't freelancers. We want to turn them from freelancers into this is their career and this is their home. And how can we help them build a career with you? And how can Jason advance and stay with you? And if they're in a position at a company that they don't have any room for advancement, we work with that business owner to say, if they've grown out of you, can we place them somewhere else and give you someone else? So to try and make it the best fit for everyone.
So again, this is just like me asking questions that I probably should have asked before, but I'm very much like, let's go, and then we'll figure it out as we go. So let's say Jason keeps crushing it, which all signs point to yes. He also has managed some teams before, which I'm going to need somebody that can like manage a team of bookkeepers. What's that tipping point where I'm like, hey, Angela, we need to I need to promote this guy, or you need to, we need to promote this guy. What does that look like? Because at some point I'm going to say, like, we need to give him more responsibilities. We probably need to pay him more, but you pay him and I pay you. So how does that work when we say let's elevate?
So that is you. That's you decide like, hey, we're ready to give it a promotion. And then you and I have a conversation and then talk to Jason about that and just work with everyone. It's very common for people to move up into leadership position, you know, if they have, again, that leadership experience or the leadership capability to be able to then go up and lead teams. And we see that in accounting too. Like the CPAs, they're doing the returns and then they graduate to the level of reviewer.
Yep.
You know, and leading a team of people doing it. And same thing with project managers. We have a lot of project managers. So they might start as the person doing the tasks. And then they elevate to, okay, now I'm leading a big team within this company and I'm the project manager.
Yeah. Cool.
So
I dig it. Let's do this because we've been going for 20 already.
Oh yeah.
I know Sean is planning on jumping on at some point, which will be fun when we get back into the parenting discussion. I'm gonna take a quick little no wait, before I do that, I need to be a good show host. Turn the music on so everybody knows that I'm gonna take a quick commercial break. Angela's dancing. Commercials. We'll be right back with a little more home service happy hour on Turf's Up Radio.
Creating art from darkness. For over 20 years, Cast Lighting has designed and manufactured the world's most durable, energy-efficient, and technically advanced landscape lighting products available at astonishingly affordable prices. Cast offers an all-encompassing line of products with everything you need to get the job done. Cast Landscape, their most durable product, is best-in-class, low-voltage landscape lighting made of solid bronze with integrated and drop-in LED technology. These fixtures are built to endure the most demanding environments. Source Lighting, a new division by Cast, is your source for professional grand landscape lighting made of durable brass, offering both integrated and drop-in LED technology, and backed by Cast, the world's most durable outdoor lighting. Cast Lighting gives you innovative, state-of-the-art, old-world craftsmanship with tomorrow's technology. Visit their website at cast-lighting.com today. That's cast-lighting.com.
From the East Coast to the West Coast and around the world, no one rocks like Turf's Up Radio. Turf's Up Radio, your industry, your station.
Crest is leading the transition from gas-powered lawn equipment for professional operations with the introduction of the industry's first truly game-changing innovation in battery-powered OPE. With the Crest 8-minute cyber system, professional landscapers can now replace their messy gas-powered equipment without sacrificing performance, power, or runtime. The 8-minute cyber system allows for Crest-made 60-volt batteries to fully charge in 8 minutes or less, just enough time for a water break. Complemented by a full line of equipment benchmarked against gas-powered products, landscapers can finally take charge of their business and make the switch to battery. For more information, visit Crest.com. Visit Crest.com. Having issues with your maintenance schedule? Want better routing and ability to track your vehicles when they leave the shop? Do you want to reduce your liability exposure with your vehicles that are moving billboards on the road? GPS Fleet Consulting uses cloud-based dashcam monitoring and can easily track your vehicle maintenance using real odometer readings. GPS Fleet Consulting can also assist you with live phone support and email support with guaranteed same-day responses. Yes, same-day responses. Stop wondering where your trucks are and start managing your fleet with GPS Fleet Management Systems. For more information, visit gpsfleetconsulting.com. That's gpsfleetconsulting.com.
That's how you know we're back. Not the music, Angela dancing. That's how you know we're back. Could be any music. Sean Day in the house. Sean, you look, it looks to me like you're in your backyard.
You know, you got to hang out in November almost in Northeast Ohio when it's 72 degrees out.
Sounds way too hot for bow hunting.
Man, is it cool, though.
Is it?
A lot of leaves to blow.
I was going to say, it's your backyard, right? I recognize the foliage. The foliage.
Right there's the tire marks from your boat.
The grass is probably you probably have like really nice grass there from all the fish guts and that sort of thing fertilizing that grass. So it's real plush there. We cleaned a lot.
It's looking sweet, man. Right there. Looking sweet.
Yeah, nice and plush. What's going on, Sean Day? What do you got? What do you guys got going tonight? It's 5:30 in your neck of the woods. You got kiddo sports lined up. You got dinner plans. What are you up to, man?
It's crazy. I've got a daughter that she's been going to the gym like at 5 o'clock in the morning. She's 16 years old. She's got a job and softball practice started. So I guess, it's like you don't know anymore. Like Amy just came home not too long ago. My wife. Hey, Michael Green.
In the house. Look at that.
Bam.
I listened in for like 3 minutes and I was like, you guys got to like energize this thing a little bit. We need some energy.
We were super energetic talking about Jason, totally Dan's rock star.
I listened to 0 seconds of anything you guys said. I just got them with the call. I met Chai. I just met Chai.
You did. Nice.
Bombs.
Chai's good, but that's it. I mean, we don't know where our daughter is, but she needs to be somewhere in like 15 minutes. And I'm like, she knows what she's doing. I mean, she's more organized than my wife and I.
That's I can't put myself in those shoes of like having a kid that's turning into a grown up. I just can't even imagine. Angela probably knows what it's like.
Yeah.
Up there. My kids are so energetically full of shit in an awesome sort of way. They're just more chaotic little versions of me. I can't imagine them being adults. Just isn't the thought.
The adult versions of my kids, we're going to get to the adult versions of my kids evidently have a unique perception of me and my life.
Oh yeah. 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 So first we're going to hit on that because I think it's hilarious. Then we're going to do a little recap about the Equip Expo, and then we'll get back into more of our parenting discussion. But so I guess it was 2 weeks ago on a Wednesday because we had to play a rerun last week. I was out hunting with my wife, doing fall sort of stuff. And you had made the comment, Angela, that your kids didn't think you were an entrepreneur, and I didn't really put two and two together.
So 2 weeks ago on the show, we were talking about parenting as a business owner. And I was talking about what it was like parenting my kids at every stage through adulthood as an entrepreneur and what they thought they wanted to do as careers because they were raised by an entrepreneur. So we were telling them about the show. JC surprised me and flew them out. And so they were here in North Carolina with us last weekend. I'm like, oh, and we said on the show, I said, I would love to have my kids on the show and see what their perception of life being raised by a business owner is.
Yeah.
So JC and I are telling them that. It's over some cocktails, mind you. My kids are 21 and 23, so we're at a distillery having cocktails.
Yeah, but can we have them on the show? Like, when are we going to have them on the show? We'll get more elaboration from them later, but are they game to come on? That'd be super fun.
Yeah. I mean, because Hildy already heckles yes. So we told them. Okay, see?
JC Janowski in the house.
JC joins at the perfect time. So we're telling the story of my kids when we're at the distillery. So I tell them, I was like, oh my gosh, JC and I were on Dan's show when we were talking about what it's like to be parented by a business owner and what it's like growing up as kids with a business owner by an entrepreneur. And I was telling him we wanted to have him on the show. And they said, I don't remember which one of them, but they both agreed. They said, you haven't been an entrepreneur until just now, this business. And I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, I had a business before you were born, the dance studio. And they're like, that's not a real business. That wasn't
everybody
being an
does
entrepreneur.
that. Yeah, everybody does
that. And I mean, I lost it. JC will say, I was like, are you kidding? Like, that was so much more risk. I had a 6,000 square foot commercial building I had to buy and build out, and liability insurance and workman's like, I was only 24 years old.
Yeah, that's some bold entrepreneurship.
Lost it on them. JC had to pull me back in. He goes,
That was entrepreneur shit.
Yeah, there you go.
So they literally thought we're going through like all the different businesses I've had and things I've done. And they said, no, this is your first time.
Which
They're serious.
Yeah. So you were telling me that, and I was just like, oh, they define entrepreneurship as inventing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
That's the explanation, right? It's like, oh, you're not an entrepreneur unless you're an inventor. The two must mean the same thing. So anyway, now what are but apparently running a VA business, now you're an inventor.
I mean,
maybe
their entire life was shaped and designed by me running business. I'm still so confused.
The only way we're going to get to the bottom of this is to have them come on and explain them. Well, we got to do an episode of hearing from the kids. I'll get my 5 and my 7-year-old. Crosby's probably too little. Crosby's he's 1.5. He's just going to sit here and go, Matt, like he's talking to a deer. That's his kind of go-to noise. He can't talk. He just blabs. But Danny and Reggie, they're 5 and 7. We'll get their perspective. It'll be super.
That'd be pretty fun, actually. I'll get my kids on. I like it.
We'll get a kiddo episode going. We won't be able to get Sean's daughter on because he can't find her. She could be anywhere. She's out. She's either at a job, she's at practice, she's at the gym, she's working, she's playing. Who knows? Michael, are you gonna have your kid? You're gonna have your kiddo come on? You were on our last parenting episode. So
I've just been staring at JC ever since he got here. I'm so in love. I'm sorry.
Dan, when my daughter was like 10 years old, she walked up to, or actually I dropped her off. It was right because it was raining. She was only like 9 or 10, and dropped her off a couple blocks up the road. There's a discount drug mart or something there, and they wanted to get some candy or something. So
gotta get
I just dropped them off, and then I'm like, I'll be right back. I got to go make sure Ryan's something or another. So I drive away before.
You probably had to go make a couple phone calls. You probably were doing 6 years ago. You were doing collections calls.
Yeah, exactly. Managing 90 people around the country making collection calls.
Yeah, you were loving it.
Yeah. So I get before I even get home, like my phone's ringing and I don't recognize the number, and I check the voicemail. This is Officer so and so. If you're Mr. Day, you need to come up to the police station right away. I'm like, oh man, if she stole something, I'm just fuming, right? So, and I dropped them off in these pajamas because they're little kids. It was like 8 o'clock at night, and I'm like, all right, I'll be right. So I go in there and I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? And they're, they're like, well, first when I dropped them off, I went in and I told the lady behind the cashier, I said, listen, I'm their dad. I'll be right back. They're just, they're real cool now, so dad can't hang out with them type of thing. So I'm just going to dump them off here, but I'll be, right down the road here. So she calls the cops, tells the cops that some cranky old guy just dropped his kids off and said he's dumping them off here and and I'm like, that's all I said. I wasn't sarcastic. So I got to go up to the police station, and then my wife's like, we got to call Betsy. She's got to know her kid's in jail too, this and that. So we're trying to call Betsy, and I'm like, they're like real serious. I heard you're pissed off tonight, Mr. Day, and I'm like, no, man, I'm not. I just dropped my kids off. What's going on?
I'm just a grumpy old man. I'm not pissed off. I'm just a grumpy old man.
Oh man, so I'm like, so they ended up being a ha-ha. And then the other mom comes up and she's like trying to take pictures and shit. I'm like, I look at my wife, I'm like, tell her to put that effing camera away before I lose it. I don't need the kids on Facebook and social media at a police station, man. So 3 days later, my mom comes over with a newspaper, and it's the police blotto and I'm there as like this mean father, because they just do what the police report is. That's what they put in the paper, not what happens after that. So she's got it highlighted. She's laughing at me. I'm like, yeah, I'm a bad dad,
Grumpy old man comes in and drops his kids for candy at a convenience store.
Anyway.
Excellent. At least all of those things didn't exist when you stole your mom's car and took it for a joyride when you were 12. So
no, that wasn't good. And I'm pretty sure she might be in trouble for beating me with a belt for 20 minutes straight too.
Yeah, your mom probably would have been in jail then. Actually,
yeah.
You both would have been cellmates.
The only reason she stopped beating me with that belt was because she was too exhausted to hit me any longer.
Yeah. Well, at least somebody stopped.
I didn't take her car after that, though. I know that.
You learned what you needed to learn. You learned it.
We had it too, man. I'm like, dude, like we got it. It's a standard, I'm like, just push it up the driveway. We're there. We were gone for like an hour and a half, we were 12 years old driving around town. I'm like, push it up. We don't want to wake mom up. We're at the end of the driveway after like almost 2 hours of having a blast. And I'm like, get that effing car up here. And I'm like, oh my God, no.
You're the smartest 12-year-old that's ever lived to have that much foresight to like turn the car off. When I was 12, I wouldn't have thought anything about that. 17, probably.
Yeah, that was deviant, man.
Sean was ahead of his years. He had to be. He had to be. Well, you had what? Two older brothers and an older sister. You were always a brother. You're always
two brothers that are monsters, man. I mean, they're monsters, huge. They're not. I was my dad's size, and they're just monsters.
I gotta hit this big shout out to our guy Jason Hefner. Says big news. Just got a team together for Christmas lights. Time to test some leadership abilities.
Heck yeah.
You can crush it, Jason. That's freaking awesome, man. Thanks for
sharing.
I
have big news, kind of.
What you got? He's going back. He's going to a thing.
He's
got a puppy.
His name is Odin.
What's the name?
His name is Odin. The Viking god. That he is.
He's so chill. Why is he so chill? How'd you get such a chill dog?
Because I went to the rescue place and I was like, I want the chillest dog you have.
Nailed it.
Give me the one that looks high all the time.
I want a dog that doesn't want to, because and they said, okay. And so I went in there and they do like the meet and greet. And he had nothing to do with any of us. He's like, just went and laid down by himself. And I was like, that's the dog I want.
I love it.
Good.
So that's my big news.
Good pick.
Congrats.
I don't have big news. I just got normal news. Speaking of news, Angela, before we hit we got to hit one more commercial break, and then we'll save the last third of the show for the parenting. I mean, I have 78 bullet points left to hit on with our parenting discussion. So maybe we'll hit on like one of them, and then we'll leave 7. Also, for those that haven't caught the show before, home service happy hour, like a couple things I want to do here. I got to get a phone line. Like, this is a radio show. I need a phone line. I got to get a Google.
Oh, yeah, that's an amazing idea.
Yeah, I need a phone line so you can call in. And we're going to have live happy hours. I have a private Facebook group. You got to be in that private Facebook group to get on a live happy hour. But then you're on here. We'll probably have that live happy hour be a radio show. If you're a schmuck, I'm just going to kick you out of the live happy hour. That's all that's going to happen. But I think that'd be fun.
Explode.
And we'll have to limit it to just like the first 5 or 10 people that jump on, because obviously then there'll just be too many people on the screen. But we'll just I want to replicate that. Like, hey, a bunch of business owners, we only get together every once in a while. So let's do that a little more often. Let's do it on here. Live happy hour, hang out. I'm having a Busch Light, and I know Angela's having a Miller Lite with some tomato juice in it. So the old poor man's Bloody Mary. Poor man's Bloody Mary. Real quick though, Angela, give us a little recap update on Equip Expo that you were at last week. How the heck did that go?
Yeah,
JC was there too, right?
JC was there too. It was his idea to go.
Was he decided you guys' first time at the Equip?
Yeah.
It's freaking huge, isn't it?
Massive.
It's nuts.
So,
insane.
Yeah, JC said the week before, he's like, I feel like we need to go to Equip. We're going to go. I'm like, okay. So I reached out.
I'm not surprised at all. Because every time I see you guys doing anything, it's just like, I didn't know they were going to be there. Like, it's like, yeah, we decided to go here this time. I'm just like, oh, you guys are just on the move, just doing sweet
So
shit.
it was super fun. I was like, well, if we're going, like, we can be with the Turfs Up crew. So it was fun. We got press passes. We recorded, JC and I did my show live from there and saw everyone. And it was, I'll let JC talk more about it. You guys cannot imagine how massive it was. If you are in the lawn and landscape or even lighting, any home service space, you should go. Insane. So big inside and out.
I was gonna say, the fact that they like have so much space outside, there's like lawnmower races going on, and just
UTV
like the
tracks.
amount of
It's crazy.
It's nuts. The amount of insurance that place must have to have all of that equipment there, like the number of generators that are running and chainsaws that are running.
Yep.
They got some equipment running around there. Super cool.
Yeah, JC, what was your biggest?
JC, give us your highlights, and then we'll hit a little commercial break.
Well, I think the craziest part about it was like how everybody's going green. Like every single piece of equipment in the lawn industry is completely battery or autonomous now. That was just wild. Like, I mean, full riding mowers, chainsaws, weed whackers, blowers, you name it. So that was pretty crazy to see how strong they are on the green movement. And but yeah, like you said, the size was just massive. Like when we went up to the map, I mean, the map was, I don't know, 20 feet wide by 10 feet tall, just to try and figure out where you are. And the, I don't know, 1,000 vendors that were there. It was insane. So it was definitely a lot of fun. We actually found some really good connections while we were there for ourselves. Yeah. And the keynote was a really incredible speaker. Mm-hmm. Talking about his polar experience, and I forget his name though, but he was, I don't know, but yeah, it was. We'll be back next year. We're already looking to possibly see next year.
Nice,
and super fun to see. I mean, we're on Turf's Up Radio to not only see the Turf's Up Radio crew and broadcast live from a show, but to see all our sponsors and meet the sponsors. Right? Like I just often hear, like when you were just playing the commercials. Now I'm like, oh, I met them.
Yeah, I know the people. I can connect.
I know those people. Yeah, so it was really fun.
That's why we need a beer sponsor. Then we can have the beer sponsor come to the shows with us, and then we get beer from them.
Dan, I feel like
at least that's as far as I'm going.
You need some type of light though for when the phone rings. Like everybody knows the phone's ringing or something like that. I see like old school something.
Oh yeah. I don't know how. Somebody knows how. We'll figure it out. All right, let's do this. I got to hit a couple commercials here real quick, and then we'll come back with a little pickup of our parenting discussion. Parenting as a business owner. Super important, not super easy. We'll hit on it. We'll be back with a little more home service happy hour after these messages right here on Turf's Up Radio.
Creating art from darkness.
Did I play this one already? I think I played this one already. Let's do this one. Here.
True Fuel is a high-octane fuel precision engineered for your 2- and 4-cycle equipment. They use the most advanced synthetic lubricants and stabilizers in an ethanol-free fuel, improving performance, protecting your equipment, and saving you time. That means easier startups, smoother idling, and quicker trigger response, plus extended life for all of your equipment. True Fuel is ready to use and easy to store, helping your operations be more efficient and reducing maintenance costs. We at Turf's Up use True Fuel because we know it works and we know it's the best option. Check out TrueFuel50.com to learn more. That's TrueFuel50.com.
You're listening to Turf's Up Radio, the only radio station of its kind dedicated to the green industry. Now you can even ask Alexa to tune you in when you're home.
Are outdated spreadsheets and whiteboard scheduling costing you jobs? Or is a lack of consistency between crews causing your bids to differ from job to job? Or worse, delaying critical invoices and payments? Crew Control offers all-in-one business management solutions fit for every trade. From bidding and scheduling to invoicing and integrating payments, Crew Control provides real-time visibility into your crew's efficiency, whether you're in the field, in the office, or even on vacation. Manage your crews more effectively and improve business performance with Crew Control. Start your free trial today at crewcontrol.com.
From the East Coast to the West Coast and around the world, here's to all the women in the green industry. Turf's Up Radio, your industry, your station.
I like it's nice after a commercial break like that. Then I get to restart the theme music. Angela's dancing. Sean's sitting still. Michael had to jump off. Michael said, gotta run. Good to see you all. And JC. So I don't know if that was like a compliment or a diss. I really don't know. I think Jason chimed this one in last week too. Parenting discussion. Andrew hotwired an electric drum set. Andrew's let me turn the volume down so everybody can hear what I'm saying here. Andrew's Jason's kiddo. Andrew hotwired an electric drum set only compatible with headphones to a guitar amp. Being a good supportive dad, I ordered a soldering kit so he can do it right. I love it. Yeah. Let's if we're going down this path, let's make sure we dial this in as good as we can. Parenting stuff. Well, what was that? That was somebody dropped something.
That was me. Just got.
Oh, they're dancing. Yeah, that was Sean's dancing. Sean's tap dancing.
Drums.
So on the parenting end of things, I think what we kind of hit on this last episode. We won't solve all the it's not problems, it's challenges. Those are the same things. Yeah, there's a better word for it. I'm just not a very good host, so I don't have all the words. But parenting as a business owner is just a little bit tricky because we're so immersed, right? And it's not challenges that other parents with jobs and regular corporate world stuff don't have, right? They have a lot of demands. Many of us have been in that space too. Business ownership is just a little bit funny because every demand kind of rolls back to us and it's our baby, right? I have never felt the way I do about a job as much as I do about like a business that I created, right? We're so much more passionate about it when it's like our jam. And so it makes it that much harder for us to turn off, I find. I didn't have a hard time when I worked at Cargill that had 160 some thousand employees. I didn't have that hard of a time turning it off. Granted, I didn't have kids at the time either. But I could turn it off and go do whatever I wanted. I did have a boss telling me when I could and could not turn it off, and that was a little bit annoying. But in business ownership, it's such a passion of ours, it's such a hobby of ours to work on the stuff we're working on that it gets really hard to turn it off. And so it puts a weird stress on our family relationships because our spouse, our significant other feels it, our kiddos feel it. Unless you're Angela's kiddos and you don't even realize she's an entrepreneur because you think she's just running a dance studio and apparently that's not a business. I don't know. What? Did they not think it was a business? Did they think you just did it for fun? You're just like, oh, mom just likes to dance and she's showing some other people how to do it. She's just a fun little hobby she's got. What? Like, man, I got
exactly. I was like, we traveled around the country teaching other people to do it. That's not a business. And it's not like they are 11 and 13. Yeah, they are 21 and 23. Like they see businesses.
Yeah, it's like here's my God. I just don't have a good example. But like a similar thing in my mind would be like somebody looks at the NFL and they're like, that's a sport. And then they look at golf, right? And they're like, well, that's not a sport, it's a hobby. And I'm like, okay, but if you're a professional and you get paid to go do the thing and you get sponsors and you can make money and that sort of thing, like I'm pretty sure you're a professional athlete. Like I don't, you can argue whatever the sport is, but at the end of the day, you're a paid professional. You provide a skill set and you get paid to do it. And I think business ownership is the same thing. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but it's just so funny. Anyway, JC,
it does make me think. It does make me think I maybe did it well. Like I said, like not the guilt of I was doing it all the time.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they must have not thought I worked that hard.
yeah, right. Like the balance was there. Maybe you achieved the right amount so that they didn't even notice it.
And they kind of think that now. They think I have a business because it's unique, but I don't think they think I work. I mean, it does look like we have a life of a lot of play.
But do they think it's unique because that's part of the name of your business? I mean, I'm just calling it out. I just want to make sure that they actually think it's unique instead of just reading the name of your business.
I don't know.
But
I have to have one.
I get. I mean, I just go back to like I get that. They maybe didn't think you were an entrepreneur because it wasn't like a brand new thing, right? And so I think when you're younger, you assimilate entrepreneurship with you're creating something that never has been done before. You don't associate it with, oh, I started a business doing something that other people do too. I'm just doing my version of it. So I can see where that would be like cloudy to an adolescent. It is funny that they're in their 20s though, and we're still trying to argue with you that you.
And it was a playground, right? It was a huge playground. We had indoor trampolines. We had parties there all the time that I made money off of. But I think they just thought, and we performed at Disney World. And
oh yeah, they thought you just had like the coolest hobby in the world. They didn't even know. They didn't realize you got paid to do it. They just thought they had the coolest family life in the world.
Oh, JC will say, I about lost it on them. I was like, what do you think paid for your life?
I said, Look, this is not the time or place. Let's just move on to the next subject, and we'll talk about the Bears or something. I don't care.
Start taking away privileges. You're grounded. You're gonna have to pay for your own meal tonight.
Your first day on vacation, you're grounded.
Yeah.
Well, we ended up changing subjects and ended up booking skydiving.
Oh, there you go. Pile on the phone. So one of the things that we left off with on the last episode was hiring help. And I actually kind of had this debate with my wife because I was like, I'm always torn of, do I hire more help in my business to free me up more from the business so that I have more time for family stuff? And is that different than hiring help at your home stuff? And then you have more time for the business and or your family stuff. And Angela, I know you hired help like to kind of do a little bit of everything, right? Like it sounds like they were like in your personal life, but that freed you up all over the place. My worry with that, and it's probably an unfounded worry, right? Because I've never hired it. Is then are they playing the role with the kids? So I'm not, and then I'm spending more time in the business. Like that's my worry of that approach. Not saying that happened to you, but that might be my worry with me is if somebody's watching my kids, I'd be like, sweet, I can go get some more work done because I love working on my work stuff. Did you feel that conundrum at all, or was that or am I just like making shit up because I don't know it?
So I did it a little different, but I heard this when I was listening to Tim Ferriss, Tools of the Titans, at the gym this morning. And one of the quotes this morning was like, if measure success not by the time that you get to do the things you want, but the amount that you spend your life not doing the things you don't want to do. Like, how do you spend your life in your personal life and in your business, getting rid of everything that you don't like to do?
Mm-hmm.
And I somehow figured that out at a very young, like at 24. Like everything that I didn't like to do at home, I had somebody do. Or everything I didn't like to do with the kids, I had somebody do. And so I was there with them. It wasn't like I was working. It was like the person was there and I was there. But I made cookies with them all the time. I just left the mess. Mm-hmm. So like we made cookies and then I would go over here and work and they would clean up and watch the kids, like I just, anything I didn't want to do, I didn't do.
Yeah. Is there a risk in doing that? My worry, again, I don't have a perspective on it because I haven't done it. My worry would be, I want my kids to grow up doing stuff they don't like to do so they get some grit, right? So that they know it's not just all like rainbows and cookies and treats, that they got to go rake the yard. They got to do the dishes. They got to do the whatever.
Well, so they still had to. I mean, they had to do their laundry. Oh. Like I didn't help with their laundry when they were 10. Once they were 10, yeah, they had to do it.
I got it. Yeah, they're part of the delegation. They're part of the.
Yeah.
Like, here's the things y'all need to work on here. I got some stuff I got to work on. Here's some stuff you guys got to work on. I like that.
I think we talked about this last time, though. I think it's different. Like, you guys couldn't get away with it, right? We laughed at this. Like, I hired 23-year-old women to come and basically live with me.
It's not going to fly.
And do all my stuff. I don't think that's going to fly for all y'all.
Nope.
I still got turned down for that.
I could probably get away with a 65-plus-year-old woman. I could probably get away with that.
Yeah.
JC's not sure why we don't want to do it again.
Seems reasonable.
Like,
the way you sell it seems reasonable. Sean, what, like, is there stuff you outsource at your house? You're on mute, by the way. You're on mute before you start going too much. You're on mute.
Out of all the years I've been married, I think my wife and I had about 3 really arguments where I kind of tried to put my foot down.
I like the way you said kind of try.
One was again, this is not judging anybody else or what they do. This was just for me. I was really against daycare at a very young age, like right when my wife went back to work. at 8 months old or something like that. Maybe it's been a while, so I can't know. It's somewhere in there. I was real uncomfortable about that. So I was like the one to the point where it was like, I don't even want to discuss this. If we have to discuss this, we're going to need to get lawyers. I don't want to discuss this. This is crazy to me. All right. So I ended up taking her. I drove and took her out of daycare. And I go there and there's all these babies lined up crying. And I'm just like, this is no way happening. But I had no plan. I had no plan. I was going to watch the kid. So I don't know what I'm
going to do when it ain't this.
Yeah. So like I'm taking cleaners out of the business and having them watch my kid. And then finally I was blessed enough that my mom was working for me and I had like nothing for her to do, but I didn't want to hurt her feelings and fire her. Like we were going everything technology wise, like she was being replaced. Right. And I'm like, Mom, did you file anything? And I'm like finding stuff for her to just file. Then I'd like have somebody unfile it and she'd file it next week. I was crazy. Like, why don't you just watch the kids, you know? And so that's, and she was, she was
Mom,
great.
Mom,
yeah.
Here's a belt. Watch the kids.
Yeah. Funny how grandkids get treated much differently than real kids. So, but that was blessed in that regard. And then I was able to come home and stuff. But the thing that I found difficult and I really tried super hard was slowing life down when we were supposed to be having a good time at the zoo, at this place, at this place. My brain was still going like this really fast. And I had to get better at slowing life down at that time. Even when there were shit going and maybe a couple fires going on and I wasn't in a place where I could not end communication totally at that point in my business. When the kids were young, I had to have conversation with people that were blowing shit up in the business. I didn't have my systems down and all that. So I had to slow life down and sometimes lose a few customers or $1,000 if I had to lose $1,000 because I had to have time with my kids. When I'm at the zoo, I can't just go in a corner and tell them to sit here with me for a while. And a lot of times my wife was at work, so I'd take them on my own a lot of times. And so that was tough, slowing life down a little bit.
Yeah, I think, well, and the more times we do that, I find, for me anyway, I'm better at hiring the right people sooner, figuring out what that role is, who do we need in it so that they can take it on, so that A, stuff breaks less, or B, somebody else can problem solve it to the point where I can address it later.
Yeah.
Right. That it's not a fire anymore. It's still a situation, but it can be addressed later. And I think that's kind of a thing that it's hard to teach somebody that. It's kind of something we all get the feel for as we're, I don't want to say an entrepreneur, since Angela has barely been one in her life. Even but really, like, the first time we start a business, right? I think we all kind of suck at that, like knowing when to hire, who to hire, which roles to hire first to insulate you the most. But I think that insulation is really important, that you get that time back. And I think I don't know if this is a lesson learned, but an observation that I'm having through this discussion is whether you're hiring people in your business or whether you're hiring people personally to help you, the end result that you're shooting for is all the same. It goes back to, what are you really good at? What do you love to do? And what do you kind of get paid the most to do? And sometimes getting paid isn't, to Sean, what you just said, sometimes getting paid isn't like you getting money in your pocket. It's you getting time with your family. Like, that is a form of payment, right? And so you're willing to give up $1,000 of handling that issue to spend the time with your family. And so that trifecta, if you will, like, exists in your business, but it also exists in your personal life. And I think I said this last episode, I hate the term like work-life balance, because to me, it's like, you can't just turn one off and flip to the other one. You're doing them both all at the same time. It's your brain is going to be working on both things all at the same time. You can't just like turn one off and turn the other one on. There's mechanisms to like put one aside, right? But when you put your phone down, it's not like you stop thinking about work stuff. The situations are constantly crawling in your head. So it's like, how do you insulate yourself to some degree so that you're focused on what are you the best at, what do you love to do the most, and what do you get paid the most to do? And again, sometimes that payment isn't in physical currency. It's in love, man. It's in love. I've talked about Crosby a little bit on the show, He's my 1.5-year-old. My 2 daughters are totally mama's girls. They're not daddy's girls. Now, Danny, my older one, is like turning more and more into a daddy's girl as she gets a little older. Reggie's just like mom or bust. Just always has been. She's also been a little bit babied. Not to her discredit, like she's like the second child and then the middle child, and so she's just always kind of been a little bit of just been babied, right? I don't know another way to put it, but I think you guys all know what I mean. Crosby's like significantly, younger than the other 2, and he's the first kiddo that we've had where he's just like, I want dad. And I'm just like, oh, this is so weird. Like, this kid just wants to like hang out, but he just dropped everything. It's like, I don't care what I'm working on. Like on the weekends, I try to get up early and get some stuff done. The minute Crosby gets up, he and I are watching hunting videos on YouTube, and we're just going to do that. And he's going to point at the TV screen and be like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And it's like that currency. I'll take that currency all day long. I'll drop whatever bookkeeping stuff I got going on. Sean, if you're wondering why I didn't get back to you on the authorized.net stuff, that's why. Crosby's like, Dad, I want to hang out and snuggle, and we're going to watch some deer run around on a TV screen. And I'm just like, yeah, man. To the point where the other day, we got to wrap up the episode here, but I think yesterday I was out with the girls. Danny had practice. Reggie came with me. Marty had Crosby, and he was like inconsolable. And then
we're still on.
Somebody just showed up next to
Surprise.
Rob. It's got to be Rob.
Yeah.
Angela, you look so different.
Yet another non-entrepreneur.
But to the point.
Oh yeah, you can't hear.
We can't hear him anyway. Which is fine. It's fine not hearing Rob. That was totally fine. Not hearing.
What's going on?
We still can't hear him. I don't know why. We can't hear him. No,
the microphone
on your other.
Kind of echoing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's the microphone. It's on that one.
Good enough.
Yeah, don't give Rob that one, Angela. Don't give Rob that one. But yesterday, we'll wrap it up here now that Rob's here. We'll shut her down. But yesterday, I was gone with the girls, and Crosby was like inconsolable until Marty put deer hunting on the TV and like sat with them and watched deer hunting. I was like, man, just chip off the old block. It's a year and a half. Who knows if he'll keep liking it? But that currency is irreplaceable. Anyway, I still have 78 bullet points of parenting stuff to talk about, but we've hit our hour, so we got to jump off here. Rob, welcome to Nashville. Good to see you. Why can't I hear? Oh, you guys are on mute now. Now you muted yourselves. What is going on over there? What is going on over there?
Go back to drinking.
I made it.
Can you hear him?
He's drinking. I'm not drinking here yet.
Yep. Rob's just got like a chip in his head or something. He's just got a metal plate in there. It's blocking the signal. I don't know. Yeah.
That would explain a lot of things. It's neural kinetic energy.
Mm-hmm. Have a beer. I'd say, well, have a beer for me, and I'll have one for me too. How about that?
Deal.
Beauty. All right, guys. I gotta play music so that we know that the show is over. Let me play some music. Booyah. All right, guys. Home service happy hour is a wrap for the week. Just in time now that Rob showed up. Just in time to wrap it up. Rob doesn't know how to read a clock. Not his fault.
Don't blame the pilot.
Yeah, pilot's fault.
There needs to be like a countdown for like when will Rob show up each time.
Yeah, that's our trigger to end it. Probably, usually I go live on Wednesday nights. Right now we're live on a Tuesday. Probably no show tomorrow night because I'm going to be like on an airplane traveling. We'll see what time I land. Rob's going to be busy. I don't have a guest lined up. We'll see. Maybe I'll jump on and drink a beer. We'll be back next week. We'll pick up the parenting talk on Turfs Up next week. And I got a whole slew of ideas for some more story episodes. If you guys remember when it was the old Bookkeeping Beer and BS podcast, we did the P&L through stories. I'm thinking of like a whole stories series. So I'm coming up with a bunch of themes of stories, and I mean that might be a year's worth of episodes from what I can tell. Given that we'll maybe do like one theme per 5 episodes at the pace we go, so we'll see. if there's stories,
You do like
guys-
half a theme.
Yeah, half a theme per episode. But man, obviously we're gonna have some hiring ones with Sean Day here. We're gonna have some good hiring stories, but it's like, our biggest wins, our biggest losses, our biggest like random right place, right time, wrong place, right time type of stuff. We're gonna have theme stories for days. I just saw my wife called me, so I better end this show and call her back. Oh, she just called me a second time. I'm in trouble. All right, guys, be good. You guys
You're done. You better hang up.
Work smarter.
It's over.
Work smarter. The theme music just ended.
Yeah.
Work smarter and harder. Go earn some pride. Peace out.